So, like any kind of women that work in IT or men, they always said, "Oh, hey, Katrina." Um, this is like I said, this is what's going on, and they've always given me like positive feedback. Like if you need a reference, always I've always encountered that in the IT. And I'm not saying that everybody's like that because I did have a person I had asked her just to give me a reference, and she said no. So it's not always, um, not everybody's willing to help you, but there are people that have helped me as far as in IT and helped me like look for a job or um, like just give me a reference or something like that, or tell me this is what you need to do. So, you do have people that are not going to help you, but there are people who will help you when you're looking for an internship or a job. There's even when I went to my not boot camp, but when I went to the meetups, like I did go to some security meetups, like even early on in the beginning of my when I first started studying IT and I went to the meetups, somebody would say, "Who's looking for a job?" And guaranteed somebody would say, "We're hiring, blah, blah, blah." Anybody that was out of work, they would always say, um, at the beginning of like some of the meetings, they would say, "Who's looking for a job?" Or somebody would say, "Hey, I'm looking for a job. Let me give you my resume. Can you send it out to so and so?" Because I think that people that work in security, not security, but just technology or IT, they know how hard it is. So it's not easy always to find a job, especially if you've been in the IT field for a long time. Sometimes people look at you as being dated and they want to hire a younger person. So sometimes you do need that extra lift from like extra word of mouth because um, a lot of the IT jobs are being phased out, or they could be coming back. So a lot of times people in the groups they would always say, "Hey, my job is hiring, and just give me your resume, and I'll give it to so and so." It always every time I go to a meetup, especially IT meetups, that's how it is. And the security side of it, security, I think they're pretty. I don't think it's hard for somebody in security to find a job because it's so hard to find people in security. So I don't think that that's an issue for the security people. I think it's so hard to find security people, especially knowledgeable people who have security and networking. That's really difficult. So to find somebody, especially with a lot of years of knowledge and networking, and then they know about security, well, whatever. So I just know that in my meetups, they would always say, uh, "Who's looking for a job?" And somebody would guarantee somebody say, "I just got laid off" or something. But that was like 2014, so this is 6 years later. So I don't know how IT is right now. Um, like for the sysadmins or whoever, the data center people, whatever. So, but guaranteed, like even when I had my internships, because I did both healthcare, I did healthcare and information security. So the internship that I had, it was healthcare related and it was information security related. So I learned both sides of security, like what data needs to be secured, like for a hospital, and then I learned the information security side of what needs to be secured as far as student data. So like that internship that I had, I tell you, it was the best internship that I've had. And I've had a few internships. Actually, I've had a lot. I've had a few internships in my career. I've gone out um, and like secured myself an internship. Anytime that I've like been looking for a job or something, I've always made sure that I had an internship to put on my resume so that I could have something to say to show that I've done this kind of work. So I've had plenty of internships in the field that I was in. So, but as far as IT, I've had a number of internships. Um, I have worked in a, what do you say, like the lab, like the student lab, which is a lot of experience, especially if you like computers. It's really good experience because it helps you, especially if you want to do help desk work. There's some people that, this has been a while, so I don't know how it is with the help desk. If you want to be a help desk tech and start out um, as a help desk person, like I had my internship in a school, in the university. So that was really good because it was all kinds of different situations, and then like things will go on where it is like crazy. Like they're trying to do a presentation and their computer doesn't work. So I guess you learn how to react in certain situations, especially if you're young. Like I already did know that because I was an adult. But if you're young, it helps you to learn how to act in certain situations, especially a corporate situation, uh, where if you've had no job experience, an internship will help you with that. So that was where I learned um, how to work with computers, and the situation is like tense because the person has to do a presentation and their computer doesn't work. So sometimes they have like I think the last time that happened, this guy had a brand new computer. I think the computer, it looked like it was expensive, I don't know, but it didn't fit. The dongles didn't fit. So sometimes people they bring their computers because they feel more comfortable. But to me, like at a presentation or a conference, to me, I would rather just bring myself, put my presentation on a drive and email it to myself, because there's so many different I guess dongles you would use when you're trying to give a presentation at different places. You don't know what kind of software or hardware that they're using, so it's best to just, to me, don't even bring your computer, laptop. Just bring a drive, and it's a lot easier. And then you can just use their system because they usually have a system that they use. So those are my internships. They were very good. I've had for IT. Oh my god, I have had so much like I would say like help, like even with my boss, she knew that I was studying like IT. So she would try to help me um like she would try to help me find other things to do at my job that were IT related. Like the best that she could. I mean, there wasn't much because it was a small business. So she definitely would say, try to learn this, or she would try to relate it to um, IT or any kind of technology because she knew I was studying that. And it depends on your job, your situation. Some people are cool with that, and some people aren't. Like some people, they know that job is, they know that you're not going to stay there. Sometimes they don't want you to stay there. It depends on the job and the situation and the person and your boss. And sometimes they will try to help you grow and move on to a better situation when they know that this isn't the job that you're going to stay at, nor do they want you to stay there because they know that you have more potential than that. So she was that kind of person. She knew that you had more potential, so she would help you in that way. So I could say that my internships, I have had really good people, like really good internships where they would like really try and teach me, and even me being a female, especially being a black female in IT. Not to say that there aren't that many. I'm sure there are plenty because I've met sysadmin. I met a sysadmin when I went to Pittsburgh. She was black, a black female, and there's plenty of black men in IT. That's no problem, but especially being a female, that's a little different. I don't think there's as many as you would like to see. So I've had mostly positive, I would say I had mostly positive experiences with people trying to help me, but I have had situations where I have asked people like, hey, can you look at my resume, or like give me a reference, or I like not, did I say reference? Yeah. I asked a lady for a reference. Honey, didn't even, I was like, okay, homegirl, you know, to me, I'd rather you just say, because that's how I am. I'd rather you just say to me, you know what? I don't want to give you a reference. Because I will straight up tell somebody, if they need a reference and it's not anything that I could do, I'll tell them I will say it. I really can't do that. I prefer to tell you, I prefer to be honest with you rather than say, I'll get back to you next week. I don't do that. Like because I know that at my job, I have had people ask me for a reference all the time because I used to be a supervisor. And there was never a problem with me giving them a reference or writing a letter of recommendation because that's how we worked at our job anyway. That's the kind of atmosphere it was. So it depends on the person, depends on the atmosphere. I think, especially if you have an internship, if you're asking someone for a reference or some kind of referral, you have to know who you're talking to, because some people will help you and some people won't. So I've been lucky enough that there have been people who have helped me, and I have returned the favor to other people because I've had a boss that was very good about that. She was, I've had a few bosses like that who would be like, oh, hey, what are your goals? Oh my God. Even my last boss was like that. I have met like some amazing people who have been like, what are your goals? How can I help you achieve those goals? Because they don't want you to stay. That's a rarity. I'd have to say that's very rare. When you have a supervisor who wants to help you achieve your goals, like if you're going back to school, they'll be like, hey, you need time off, or how can I help you do that? I can't say that I've had every boss like that, but my last boss, that girl was amazing. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you wanted to move on, oh my God, she would be your biggest cheerleader. That's why I have met, like, people don't like working with women, but the 3 women that I have worked for, they have been like my strongest supporters. So I would say that it depends on the female that you work for, but I would say that the 3 women that I have worked with, excuse me, the 3 women that I have worked with have been very supportive and mentoring. I'm doing a video. Okay. And like mentoring, like I can tell you right now, the female bosses that I've had, they have been, and this is what a lot of women go through when they are the boss. The female boss or your boss that's a woman, she's really your friend, your mentor. You go to her with your personal business, and basically, I'm doing a video. So if I had a female boss, I have relied on them as probably a friend, a mentor. The 3 women that I have worked for, they have definitely been mentors for me. But I don't know if that's a rarity, but I think it's, you can come in. I don't think it's a rarity, but some people don't like working with women. But for the 3 women that I have worked with, I loved it. I'm okay. Sometimes, it's not always great all the time, but sometimes when you have a female boss, that's the person you can talk to about like personal things. I'm not saying that you should, because you should not, but a lot of times your female boss is going to be more understanding if you're a female about what you go through as a woman. So the 3 women that I work with, they have been like really positive mentors for me in life. And so that's one thing. These are women who have like had great strides for themselves in the face of, I'm sure, discrimination being a female. So I think that they kind of understood what it's like to be a woman and setting out on your own. So that's what I probably had one female that I worked with that was kind of like not with the sisterhood thing. So, but that was just her. I think she felt like she felt threatened a little bit that I was gonna take her job. I didn't want her job. I didn't want her job, nor did I care anything about it. So sometimes people feel threatened, and they just they react like that. But I have talked to other kids who've done internships, and they've had great experiences in their internships. They've been listened to. They've had their ideas taken as valid, and they've been used. So it depends on the job, but I would say, just to get back to my point, I've worked with females that have been like kind of like my mentors, and also I've had positive internship experiences in the past that were very good for me. And I've had people help me in IT, try to help me as far as finding a job, or saying, hey, you know what, look out for this, because they know how it's not easy, especially being a woman in IT. So I have had those 3 things happen. So while I'm baking these cookies, we talked about the enterprise release notes for JIRA. How is it on an internship? Working for a woman or working with women, or having a female as your boss. Like I said, for me, it was very positive having a female boss. Some people don't like it, but for me, I will take working with a woman any day. I'll be my own boss now, but I'm just saying, I prefer at the end of the day to have a female boss anytime, because I've just had really good experiences with women on the job. So as far as being the leader of the company, so to each his own. So I'm going to end here. I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to come back at the end when my cookies are baked.